Philly and Morey just can't catch a break. This is now their second straight star point guard demanding a trade out. First Ben Simmons, now James Harden. Although Doc Rivers was more to blame and Simmons' sensitivity was more the issue in that case. I think he's a great player. I think he's already playing at an all-star level and is going to be a perennial all-star. And those players are rarely traded, so I thought, frankly, it was going to work out there. I'm very happy for the Houston Rockets that he's here. Then when we were able to talk to James, it was real exciting because I think our goals and his goals are aligned. We want to win a championship, and this is a place where he can win a championship as a foundational player for a team. Morey called 23-year-old Harden foundational and correctly predicted that Harden would be an all-star that season, which was the first of 10 consecutive selections. On June 21st, 2017, Morey signed a 4-year extension to remain GM of the Rockets through the 2021-22 NBA season. On July 8, 2017, just 2 weeks later, Harden signs the richest contract in NBA history at the time, a 4-year extension worth $228 million to remain with the Rockets through the 2022-23 season. On June 25, 2018, at the NBA Awards, Morey is named Executive of the Year and James Harden is named MVP of the 2017-18 NBA season. They've shared awards in the same years and even got massive contracts in the same years. They know they need each other. In 2019, Morey went as far as to say Harden is a better scorer than Michael Jordan.
But no one could anticipate he'd be the best player in the world. Like,
why did you put all your ass in? Why him?
So both the eye test, because he looks amazing. I think anyone watched him, but if you looked at data at the time, once he had the ball in his hands, and it's still true to this day, and I get a lot of shit because someone asked me who's a better scorer, him or Michael Jordan, and it's just factual that James Harden is a better scorer than Michael Jordan.
Based on the math.
Based on literally, like, you give James Harden the ball, and before you're giving up the ball, how many points do you generate, which is how you should measure offense. James Harden is by far number one in NBA history, and he was number one even at the Oklahoma City Thunder. He was coming off the bench. It was a little more hidden. So you needed good data to sort of suss that out. So we knew he had that amazing skill to be a scorer.
Yeah, people probably aren't going to like you saying that.
No, people hate it. Now, the counter argument is reasonable. They say if you put Michael Jordan on a team now, he would do more than James Harden. That's possible. But if you're just saying, like, NBA history, how much, if you give this guy the ball, how much does his team score after you give him the ball before the other team gets the ball? It's James Harden. And I know that makes people mad, it's literally a fact.
You said that the argument could be made that James Harden is the best offensive player of all time. You've got the beard going for his 30-point game streak. You really believe that?
Absolutely. So, and luckily when I said it, every show was like, Daryl Morey's lost his mind. He's absolutely crazy.
Have you lost your mind?
No, I haven't. And then after that, I was happy. Like, there was like 10 articles saying that I have a point, that he is. Yeah, so he is part of the offense more than any player really in history, and he's super efficient. So anyone in the past who shot as much as he has this year or passed as much has always been inefficient when they got to this level. And James we have a top offense in the league for a reason. We're winning for a reason. Since this streak started, I think we're 23-10. And it's because what he's doing is working. So that's the difference between him and all these other people who were maybe, people are saying shooting too much in the past. He's making everything.
On October 18, 2020, days after it was reported that Morey would step down from the position as the Rockets GM, he took out a full-page ad in the Houston Chronicle to confirm the reports. In his letter to Houston and the Rockets organization, Morey emphasized that James Harden changed my life, even saying that he could dedicate an entire page to Harden. On November 2, 2020, within a month, Morey is hired as the 76ers president of basketball operations. On December 28, 2020, as Morey settled into his new position with the 76ers, he inadvertently sent out an automated tweet celebrating the 1-year anniversary of Harden breaking the Rockets franchise assist record. It turned out to be a pricey error, as Morey was fined $50,000 for violating the NBA's anti-tampering policy, as Harden was still a member of the Rockets at the time. Morey then later got Harden back from the Nets and reconnected their friendship, with Morey even being the first to greet Harden on his plane arrival, something no GM would ever really do for any player. Now we get to the current drama that surprised everyone. This time, longtime friends and the most unique star player general manager relationship has been damaged likely beyond repair, with James Harden calling out Daryl Morey a liar. Morey and Harden go way back, with Morey trusting the keys to the Houston Rockets he managed to an upcoming six-man of the year player who he saw as a future star and MVP level player. He offered more money and saw much more potential in Harden than OKC did. Since then, they've been friends for years and Harden led the Rockets to many deep playoff runs. Harden may have come short of a ring there, but definitely had a successful tenure there, and with Morey, as he was a perennial MVP candidate and the Rockets were perennial title contenders. While Harden hasn't made it exactly clear what he's referring to or the full context, this came shortly after Morey said Harden will be coming to training camp and won't be traded. Maybe Harden opted in from a verbal promise Morey made that he'll get his money by opting in and then will be traded, but now Morey's not keeping his word. But what's likely even more possible is Harden was likely offered to be paid under the table, something the NBA is against, and this is why Harden's liar rant was short and vague. In this 2020 article, Morey explained his reasoning behind his tweet supporting Hong Kong and doubled down on the message. Morey had befriended a number of Hong Kong residents while attending business school and had intimate knowledge of the challenges they face living in a semi-autonomous country. His decision to tweet his support was neither rash nor uninformed, but a conscious effort to express his solidarity for people he knew well. Asked months later if he regrets his decision to support the protests in Hong Kong, Morey paused for several seconds before responding, "I'm very comfortable with what I did."
Yeah, we apologize. We love China. We love, playing there. I know for both of us individually, we go there, once or twice a year. They show us the most support and love. So, we appreciate them as a fan base, and we love everything, they're about, and we appreciate the support that they give us individually and as an organization. So, we love you.
Daryl Morey is a liar, and I will never be a part of an organization that he's a part of. Let me say that again. Daryl Morey is a liar, and I will never be a part of an organization that he's a part of.
Harden also strategically did this liar rant at an Adidas Tour in China, where they already hate Morey for his support of Hong Kong over China, only adding fuel to the fire. You could actually see Harden wave off the cameras right after repeating the message about Morey being a liar, so this was clearly a well thought out decision, including the location. Harden took a pay cut last year for the 76ers to be able to sign PJ Tucker and House. The pay cut was nearly $14 million last year. This obviously wasn't worth it, as Harden now lost that guaranteed max money, then entered this free agency expecting to be paid properly or even more than last summer, but instead not getting offers more than the money from opting in with the 76ers. 76ers didn't resign him or want to extend him long term. They're not offering any more money even after the pay cut, and Harden was likely lied to about some reimbursement for the money sacrificed, especially after not winning the title last year or even extending Harden's current contract. Perception for James Harden has already looked bad, as this would be the third team he's demanded his way out of. First the Rockets to the Nets, and then the Nets to the 76ers, and now he wants to be traded to the Clippers. All were within reason, with the Rockets heading for rebuild, and Wall was not good enough anymore to be a secondary piece for title aspirations, so wanted to go to the Nets, only for all the Kyrie drama to derail title aspirations there, and then went to Philly.
When you see all these guys start talking about where they want to go or demanding trades or grouping together to form super teams, do you feel as a GM an extra pressure to make James happy?
Yeah, I've always felt that pressure. I mean, when you have a player as great as him, I think he's going to go down as one of the top players of all time. I feel like it's my responsibility to deliver him a championship, and we haven't yet. We got very close last year. We feel like we're well positioned this year, even though we've had lots of injuries. We're going to be healthy out of the All-Star break. I don't know if pressure's the right thing. I think I want to win as much as him, but I really want to win it for him.
Harden deserves the right to contend, but teams and the NBA won't be very generous with how often this has happened with him. But what do you think will happen to Harden and Morey? Will the NBA step in and investigate? Let me know in the comments below. With Raptors starting point guard Fred VanVleet now taking the Rockets spot that Harden wanted to go to, it's time for redemption for the Raptors, who lost VanVleet for nothing this free agency, and for Harden to regain his value. Check out my other video detailing a possible Harden to the Raptors trade idea.